Question: what does a cup of coffee or two, quarters, maybe more than a couple, and a piano have to do with each other? You would be amazed. And when I get back, we're going to talk about it. Hey, this is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How's everybody doing today? Hope that this video finds everybody doing well. And if you're new here to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are a veteran here, welcome, welcome, welcome too. Hope that everybody's doing well. You know, I mentioned 3 things, okay? And one of them Steve's going to talk about in a little while. But you know, we're going to talk today about how the little things in life add up, okay? And I have an actual story that happened to my former husband. Unfortunately, he passed away. But this story was of a human interest story, and it actually hit the local news. I didn't know my husband at that time yet, but who knew I'd be married to him? And that's one day. This is just so funny. You know, many times we talk about saving things in little increments. And many times people think, it doesn't add up. That is not true. So let's call my former husband GP for argument's sake. Well, a few years back, GP, he was a very wonderful person, but he had some cute little eccentricities about him. But one of the things that I never considered eccentric was the way he handled his money. He was a very precautious person with money. Making a long story short, he believed in saving little bits of money until one day. So he had a nice habit. Back then, when people used more cash instead of when they, use so much plastic today, he would come home from work. He would always break brand new bills, okay? And whatever change he had left over, he would insist that the change comes back in the form of quarters. So he usually, whenever he broke something, he made sure like it was on like the 50 cents of it or the 75 cents of it, and he would ask the local merchant or whomever he dealt with to please pay him back in quarters. Now, mind you, I did not know him yet at all. So one day, my mom and I, bless her soul, we were watching the news, and we heard about this amazing story where someone paid for a secondhand piano in a most unusual way. Well, GP paid for a beautiful Airsonic piano for $500. That was very good, of course, but he paid for it in, guess what, quarters. He filled up these big, big, big old bottles of change, like the water drinking bottles, the huge ones that are on top of a water cooler. And he put them in a red little pulley wagon like the kids use. And he put that in his car, and he dragged that into the store to purchase the piano. And believe it or not, the merchant accepted it because it was cash. So over time, with his little quarter thing, he actually purchased a piano. A wonderful one at that. Well, there's a little more to that story. As times change and, he went to be, to go to heaven and everything. I really personally didn't have a need for a piano. It looked aesthetically beautiful. But beyond that, I said, I really don't need this piano and the beautiful bench that came with it. So I decided to list it on an online selling platform. And actually, I got 3 times the return on his original investment. Okay? We laugh at the small little increments of saving sometimes, but over time, it actually adds up. And in this case, it added up to $1,000 profit. So you see, you just never know. So are there things that you're doing in your life that a little bit of wallet leakers, that you could take that little bit of money and put it somewhere else or avoid spending? Now, I'm going to take a tiny break, and Steve's going to come back and tell you his actual story of pretty much the recent past, not so distant past, that has happened to him. So the bottom line of today's story is, don't overlook those little savings. They will, and they do add up. So there, be encouraged, okay? Okay. So hang on for Steve, and he'll be back with his story. Thank you so much.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I wanted to share something I used to do that I no longer do. I used to like to go to Dunkin' Donuts about 5 days a week and order a large coffee through drive-through. But I no longer do that, mainly because of the expenses that was being laid out to, keep that habit going. Because the average price of a large cup of coffee was costing me $2.57. Now, over the course of 5 days, it was costing me $12.85. Okay, doesn't seem so bad, but over the course of a month, that equals $51.40. Now, think, I can be doing other things with that $51.40 instead of investing it all in coffee. But it does get a little deeper than that. Think about going to Dunkin' Donuts 5 days a week for a whole year. What do you get? $616.80. Now that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to be laying out and investing in coffee alone. Because coming back to what I would spend in a week, $12.85. Okay, so the average price in my area of a container of Folgers or Maxwell House runs about $7. So for $12.85, I could almost buy 2 canisters of coffee, but look how many more cups I'm getting out of it. So it would benefit me to just make my coffee at home instead of always having to go out and get it at Dunkin' Donuts or even Krispy Kreme or someplace like that. I just say this. Every once in a great blue moon, maybe once, twice a month, you want to treat yourself? Okay, that's one thing. But doing it on a habitual level, nonstop, for 5 days, no. And all that time invested in a month. That's a lot of money. So that is one of my life experiences. And it wasn't really that long ago. It was earlier this year when I was doing that. So definitely look at it from my standpoint. It's really a lot of money that's being invested. I want to thank you for viewing my section of this video and have a great day.